All right. So here we're going to be talking about angle relationships in triangles. So some of this stuff we've seen or heard before. Some of it might be a little new. It's okay. So triangles are named in three angles. They can be described as acute, which means it is an angle that's less than 90 degrees. Right, which is a 90-degree angle, or obtuse, which is an angle that's greater than 90 degrees, okay? So they can also be named in two different ways, right? So example, triangle ABC, okay? We have it here. They're saying angle A can also be called CAB or BAC. Angle B can also be considered ABC or CBA. Angle C can also be called BCA or ACB. Now, one big thing here is that the sum of all three angles in a triangle is 180 degrees, meaning this angle and this angle and this angle have to make and create 180 degrees, okay? That's very important here. So, how can we apply that to triangles with partial information? Okay, cool. Not that bad, not that hard. I know that my equation here can be 32 plus 81 plus, this can be x, right? Our unknown, plus x is going to equal that 180 degrees. I combine my like terms, which in this case is 81 and 32. And then I subtract that from 180 degrees. So let's rewrite it up here so that we can actually solve it, okay? Bam. Now, these are my like terms. When I combine those, I should end up with 113 plus x is equal to 180. Then I isolate my variable by performing the inverse operation. Subtract 113 from both sides. Can't do that. That becomes that. That is a 7. That is a 6. Therefore, x equals the measure of angle C is equal to 67 degrees. That's our missing piece, okay? Now, number 2 is pretty interesting because it says find the measure of F, but it actually only gives us one piece of information here, at least numerically. This little thing, this little box in the corner should tell you that angle E is a 90-degree angle. So that's what I'm writing. 90 plus 45 plus x, we don't know what that is, and we should be able to identify that that's 90 degrees based on the symbol, should be equal to 180 degrees. We'll write it up here so that we actually can solve it, and then we'll find the measure of the angle F, okay? Perfect. Combine my like terms. My like terms are 90 and 45. When I combine those, I should get 135 plus x equals 180. Then I'm going to take that 180 and subtract the 135 from it because, again, in order to isolate my variable, I have to perform the inverse operation here. 135, can't do that, 7, 10, 5, 4. So x equals 45 degrees. Let me mark my degrees here. Sorry about that. The measurement of angle F is 45 degrees. Okay, let's keep going. So it's not that hard. It's just something slightly different, okay? Than I guess than what we've done so far, but it's not hard, okay? I promise. Here, let's get into finding the measure of HIG. So again, it's a triangle. It's going to equal 180 degrees. So here I'm going to say 58 plus 51 plus, I'm going to say x is equal to 180 degrees. And then I'll write it above so that we can solve it. I have 58 plus 51 plus x equals 180 degrees. I combine my like terms, which is 58 and 51. That'll come together to give me 109 plus x equals 180 degrees. I'm going to subtract my 109 from both sides to isolate my variable. All right, can't do that. It's a 7, that's a 10, 1, 7. Therefore, x is equal to our last angle, which is 71 degrees. Okay, for this very last one, guys, this one's actually not that bad, okay? It says to triangle JHL has an angle HLJ, which measures 65 degrees, and angle LJH, which measures 50 degrees. Draw a sketch. So, okay, so basically, they want us to just draw a triangle. It doesn't have to be perfect or to scale. It just has to be a triangle. They're saying one of those sides, one of those angles, rather, is 65 degrees. Okay, another angle is, we'll say this one is 50 degrees, which means this angle is now identifiable as x, right? That's our variable, our unknown. Now, 65 plus 50 plus x equals 180. Again, we combine our like terms. This becomes 115 plus x equals 180. You isolate your variable by performing the inverse operation, minus 115, minus 115, 5, 6. Therefore, our missing angle, okay, our missing angle is 65 degrees. That's really it, guys. It's pretty simple. Anytime you have a triangle, it always equals 180 degrees. You look for the angles they gave you, or you look for clues, like this right angle thing here, and then you're good to go. Hopefully it helps.